Sorry. You guys can.
Our President, let me very respectfully, recognize all the leaders of this wonderful union and sincerely apologize that we came late from the time we're supposed to be here. I sincerely apologize. When we went to NLC, they had a function, a remembrance of one of the great leaders of labor union. And we decided we'd have to join them and observe that. That delayed us. So we sincerely apologize. For me, today is courtesy call. Why the courtesy call? Because it's very simple. The theme of my campaign is to move Nigeria from consumption to production. Yes. To remove sharing formula and replace it with production formula. You can't talk about production. You cannot talk about production without talking about labor. Labor is the critical factor of production. Machines and capital cannot do anything unless there's labor. And if your labor is a critical factor, you have to consult them. President, be assured, and I say it, and I want it to be on record, that my visit is not a political visit. So do not think that if God decide that I'll serve this country, you look for me. No. We'll hold our hands together to decide the future of the society our children will live in.
Thank you.
Forever. It is about the future of our children. We can't bequeath them anarchy. And that is why I said we will look at my past. It is important. I'm not the only presidential candidate. We have not started a campaign. When we start campaign, I will tell Nigerians what we're going to offer them. And I want them to put it on record so that if for any reason they don't see it being delivered, they will know that I'm not telling them the wrong thing. I've done it somewhere where I said I'm going to move education from where they are, 26, 27, to among the 3 best, and we became #1. Health, what you said today, those who are suffering the bad leadership of Nigeria are the workers, are their families, the unemployed people of Nigeria. The minimum wage today, as you know, you'll be lucky if it buys your family food. If you struggle to educate your children in school, rather than stay the number of years they're supposed to be in school, the years will double. So every year, for a course of 4 years, they'll spend 7, 8 years. And if they graduate, they have no job. So you have to start feeding them again. So it's misery for misery. That's what Nigerians are going through. That's the crisis we have. So everybody says to you, what are you going to do about security? Of course, yes. There's insecurity in Nigeria. But you can go and look at what Brazil, Mexico, Colombia did to fight similar situation we had here. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality. You can't throw people into poverty. I think you can go home and sleep. You have millions of young people in their productive age doing nothing. That is the reason why we must now do things differently. The process and the road we've traveled so far will not lead us to anywhere. We need to change. We need to do the right things. And that is what we're doing now. By coming to you, this is a courtesy call. We will sit down with your leadership to discuss. All Nigeria do today, like I said, is sharing. We're not a producing country. I said it when I was in LLC. A country of 200 million people, with 200 million people, living on 923,000 square kilometers of land. Our total export last year was under $30 billion, including the so-called oil that we think there's anything in it. When a similar country that has the same trajectory and the same place with us in terms of Human Development Index measurement, about the year 2000, Vietnam, last year, with a population of 100 million, half of our population, living on a land of 330,000 square kilometers of land, exported $312 billion worth of export. We couldn't even make 10% of the export. I've traveled everywhere in Nigeria, and I told them how unproductive the country is. We went to Borno today. Borno State, the state is taken over by Boko Haram and criminality. Borno State is 70.5 square kilometers of land. 2.5 times the size of Netherlands at 33,000 square kilometers. Netherlands did agricultural export with winter, 120 billion last year. They can't feed themselves. I was in Taraba, a state with the best land, fertile land for tea, coffee, and flour, sitting on 54 point something square kilometers of land. They're coming to Abuja for sharing. Kenya, I'm not talking about first world, exported last year flour of over $500 million. The young people picking flowers in Kenya, when I went there, were being paid $100 as salary. That's the minimum wage. Kenya. I was in Ethiopia to see the tea field, the coffee field. They exported last year coffee, $1.1 billion. That can grow in Mambila. Sierra Leone, with all their problem, exported tea of $1.4 billion. These three items and their export from these countries I mentioned is what, about $3 billion. 10% of it is $300 million, which is far more than the budget of Taraba. But because it's a sharing country, they are waiting for what it will be shared. That's why I said I will remove sharing formula and replace it with production formula, so we can create jobs. And that's what we want to do. We cannot do it without labor. We need to hold hands with you. We need to put everything on the table. We can no longer live in a country where our hard-working people are not paid. Those who have worked are not paid their gratuity and pension, and will allow one person to steal 80 or 100 billion. Enough to clear those debts. It cannot continue. It has to stop. And that's what we're doing. That's what we want to do. And we will do it for Nigeria. Amen. I'm contesting for the office of the President of Nigeria. Not for any section of Nigeria. And let nobody deceive you that is a problem. The poor people in the north are suffering. The poor people in the east are suffering. The poor people in the west are suffering. Our greatest assets is in the north. The vast land that we have must be turned into an agricultural production site. Cities in the north like Kanu will become a processing center, and Kaduna will go back to its textile production. This is not a promise. I'm happy what you said, that I'm the first presidential candidate to visit. That's what the NLC said. That's what you're saying. And I assure you, I will also be the first that you have to be sitting on the table and talking with, not waiting when you strike, and then we'll start talking. We will talk before the strike. I've done it before and everything. If you go today, Anambra State University is not on strike. I'm happy. The Student Union president made a video and said how they came to my office. And I said, tell me what I will do, and you won't go on strike. And they said so. I'm also happy to tell you, Anambra State University have received, had in the past received, while I was governor, the highest amount any state government gave its university in 1 year. I gave them 5 billion naira. So you go and verify what happened in Anambra State, what I did in terms of human capital. I'm contesting the election. I have a past. This is time for you to go and verify about my account. Don't go and verify about my shoe. Go and verify about what I did, about my work. This is time to ask who is Peter Obi. Where has he passed through? This is time to scrutinize everything about him. I was telling a young man in the plane this morning, this is just for the jokes. I said, it is only in Nigeria that people are asking people which school they went to. And I once applied for a school, and I was busy talking to the people and saying, I went to this school, I went to this school. That the lady was busy contacting those schools, and he was still talking to me. And by the time I finished, he gave me something to sign. I said, so how did you know? He said he sent something to the school and they've replied him. So, this is time to go and verify. President, I thank you. I urge you, let's build a better Nigeria. Nigerians are talented. Our youths are very innovative. All they require is government directive, a policy that can give them access to training and access to funding. I know what it means. I've created wealth from MSMEs. And that is what I'm coming to offer. So that the youth can become an engine of growth. I want them in their productive age to be productive. So we can start changing it. It's not going to be easy. But everybody has to sacrifice. And I live in the sacrificing that, and doing that. I've shown it in a state. I finished in Anambra State. I left their money. I didn't take it away. So it's on record and I've put it that I left 75 billion. I left it in Nigeria, not in foreign bank, in Nigeria. Until today, I don't have any form of pension. Anambra have not bought me pure water since I left office. Because I cancelled it and said, when you finish, you go home. I've gone home. And that's what I want to do in Nigeria. To serve them and go home. Thank you.
Wow.